Hello, everybody. Welcome to our channel once again. We have a new and fun topic today. We're going to talk about some of the worst takes in health and fitness over the years. There are one or two that, to me, I wanted to bring up for a while, but just haven't had a reason to bring them up. Tommy, do you want to get started? Or do you want me to go right into one?
You dive right into one. I just remembered I got to post to the people on our Instagram that we're live, but you let her roll. I'm here.
So this video, I don't know when it came out. I don't know what is going on right now. Okay, now it's back to normal. I don't know when this video came out, but Robert Oberst talked about how he thinks deadlifts are the worst exercise you could do and that no one should do them because the risk versus the reward ratio is not worth all the wear and tear from doing that specific exercise. So to that, I think it's a load of baloney, if you didn't realize. Deadlifts are something that we have to do every single day. There's not a way to avoid doing a deadlift. Now, you might not be doing 800 or 900 pound deadlift like Robert Oberst, which probably isn't the best for your body. However, watch this, everyone. Pay no attention to my shorts. I am wearing shorts, but, don't judge me. If I have to pick something up off the ground, I'm deadlifting. I'm doing a deadlift. That's not a bad thing to do. You're not going to destroy your body by doing deadlifts. Tom, have you heard what I was talking about? Yeah, so you're no longer on our Discord. You're only on here. So basically we were talking about Robert Oberst and his, quote that deadlifts are bad and the risk versus reward ratio makes it so it's not worth it to do deadlifts. We lost Dr. Tom, everybody. I don't know what is going on with his page today, but he is having some trouble. Basically, hello, Brit Hart. Basically, Robert Oberst said deadlifts aren't good. He says it's not worth the risk versus reward ratio and you shouldn't do them. In my opinion, deadlifts are a great exercise. Everyone should do deadlifts. They're something that we have to do every single day. And if we have to do it every day, that's obviously something we should work on. We shouldn't just avoid it because someone like Robert Oberst is going to have to lift hundreds and hundreds of pounds, sometimes even close to 1,000 pounds. And the likelihood of injury when you're lifting that much is actually pretty high. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments. Do you think deadlifts are bad? Do you think they're good? Are they something that you can use? I think without a doubt it's something that should be used and can be used.
Right. I think I'm back. Can you hear me on both?
Yeah, I hear you on both.
Thank the heavens. Everything was working smoothly on my end with my headphones as we had talked about just prior to hitting live. And the second you hit live, I decided to just go haywire. But either way, I'm back. I'm going to tune into the part where you were talking about deadlifts and the risk and rewards. What I was going to try to say, and again, if I'm off topic at this point, please update me on the topic.
I've been talking.
But what I was going, perfect. No, the risk reward ratio for deadlifts is absolutely fantastic. It becomes more of a risk, obviously, when you're starting to do it wrong and when you're loading things way too excessively. If you do one of those things, then yeah, the risk reward is going to go. But if you do the exercise correctly, it is absolutely such a fantastic exercise. Hands down, one of my favorite exercises. It has so many benefits. It all depends on how you do it. It's actually an exercise that I give to a large variety of my patients. Even like my senior citizens, my Medicare patients, I've got a bunch of them. They're doing RDLs. We might not be lifting the barbell. We're using a kettlebell. We're using a dumbbell, or we're using no weight whatsoever because they're just so functional. One, for them, and two, it already starts to build strength just because of the amount of compressive forces going through their lower extremities. It just helps in so many different levels. I'll kick my soapbox to the side, Aaron, and let you come back in now that I'm finally up and running.
Yes, Britt, definitely we agree with you. the other thing that he went into after that was that, like you see a bunch of football players doing deadlifts, and there's really not a lot of carryover with the sport to there's no deadlifts don't carry over to football, and that's sort of true. Like you don't necessarily deadlift in the sport of football, but to say that carries over to function and everyday just living is completely wrong. I'll do what I did before. Everybody, watch this. Watch this. Oh, I dropped my phone case on the ground. Pay no attention to my shorts. Pay no attention. Everybody, I'm deadlifting with one hand. That's a single hand deadlift right there. And we have to do that every day. To say that you should avoid deadlifting altogether is just going to make it more likely that you hurt yourself because you're avoiding a fundamental movement in our just everyday lives. If anybody disagrees, you guys got to let us know.
If anybody disagrees, I'll probably lose it.
Yep. And also, if anybody else has any quotes that you've heard from a celebrity in the health and fitness industry and you want us to talk about it, put it in the comments. We'll get into it. We have a list of a few of them today. We started off with Robert Oberst. I don't know why I keep thinking he's Michael. And do you think we're ready to go on to the next one, sir? Do you want to talk more about these deadlifts?
No, honestly, I think that we kind of defended that one. We're on the same page with it. Let's find something that we might not agree on completely.
Well, we're going to agree on this one, so I'm going to go into it anyway. So there's a trainer named Tracy Anderson, and he trains stars like Gwyneth Paltrow, Madonna, a bunch of people like that. And she said that women should not lift more than 3 pounds. Everybody in the comments, let me know what you guys think. Should women lift more than 3 pounds? Britt, I want to hear what you have to say. And sir, what do you think? Should women lift more than 3 pounds?
No, they shouldn't. It's dangerous. It's too dangerous that it's going to alter your life and make things a hell of a lot better for you. And who would want to do that? No, lifting more than 3 pounds is completely safe, and you should, because on a daily basis you lift more than 3 pounds in every aspect. You grab the gallon of milk, you're more than 3 pounds. You go to move the laundry basket, more than 3 pounds. You do anything really. You pick up your 60-pound dog because he's being a lunatic trying to grab the socks. It's more than 3 pounds. It's functional. But aside from function, it allows for appropriate biomechanical properties to take place inside of your body. It allows for muscle growth. It allows for protein integration inside of the muscles. It allows for endurance, and overall it's challenging for the heart and the entire body. You need to lift more than 3 pounds.
Yeah, when we think about, again, just biology between male and female, obviously there are differences between men and women. However, some things are very similar. For example, men and women both have muscles. And muscles need to be stressed. They need to learn to adapt over time to different stimuluses. And if we don't push them, they're just going to stay weak. They're not going to be able to progress. This idea of not lifting more than 3 pounds was basically trying to say, it's going to make you bulk up if you do anything more than that. No, it probably won't make you bulk up unless you lift for years and years, and that's your goal, and maybe you have a little extra help as well. All it's going to do is make you more functional, stronger, easier to move around probably, and maybe even a little bit more toned as well. And there's nothing wrong with being more toned. I think we'd all be happy to be a little bit more toned. Unless you're a skinny person out there. Then you might need to bulk up a little bit. But it's just a completely silly idea that you can't lift more than 3 pounds.
No, it's the whole idea that it's like, lifting heavier weights is going to cause you to bulk up. That's not the case at all. You don't need to go and lift the same weights that that heavy men are in some of these like strongest men competitions, or strongest women competitions. There are the strongest people competitions. You could still lift a moderate amount of weight, more than 3 pounds, and get so many beneficial results out of it.
It is sort of funny because these two ideas with Tracy Anderson, don't lift more than 3 pounds, and Robert Oberst, don't deadlift, are so opposite end of the spectrum and really so silly when it comes down to it. I don't want to say stupid because, people have different opinions on things and we can't just, downplay everyone, but they are a little silly. They are a little bit.
No, I'll say they're stupid. It's okay.
Yeah, it does make me wonder where like people got this from. Like I could sort of see what Robert Oberst is saying. Like a football player probably isn't going to have as much carryover as even like a push press or something like that, or a squat. But I mean, you're still going to develop your glutes and your quads a lot for a deadlift, even for a football player. Like I probably still wouldn't tell him not to do it. And you have to get into some awkward positions as a football player too that you need to get. Like a deadlift would probably help strengthen those positions, especially if you're trying to just work on power or even 1-rep maxes. Although you could argue too, football is not really a 1-rep max sport. You have to do multiple rounds in a row, different plays, like 3 or 4 plays in a row, sometimes 10 to 15 plays in a row. If you can only do 1 rep, you're probably not going to be great because you're going to tire out so fast. That's another story for another day.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Should we go into the next one, sir? Do you have any other thoughts on the Tracy Anderson, don't lift more than 3 pounds?
No, I think we can go right into the next one. Sorry, I thought I heard something for a second. This stream is odd tonight.
Yeah, Dr. Tom has lost it. I'm leading the stream today because Dr. Tom keeps hearing ghosts in his own head. So
No. I can roll with it. Let's dive into something a little bit different. Let's spin over into the early morning workouts. Let's go into Dwayne Johnson and Mark Wahlberg. We've got 2 different ones listed on here. Mark Wahlberg has the 2:30 a.m. death routine. You've heard of this before, sir?
Yes. We were talking about it, or I don't know if we ever talked about it, but it is I don't know if I would say ridiculous, but it's sort of dumb. Again, I'm just using the same words pretty much. Just call the same thing. Yeah, people, you don't need to wake up at 2:30 to do a workout. If you've ever heard of the sleep-wake cycle, the sleep-wake cycle is something that's actually important. It's basically saying that there are times when you're supposed to be awake and supposed to be asleep. We're supposed to be awake during the day when it's sunny. We're supposed to be asleep at night when it's dark. Doing this 2 a.m. routine is just going to completely mess up your sleep-wake cycle and actually probably affect your recovery too. One of the big problems, like years later, Mark Wahlberg actually said about this routine was he was just getting so run down from doing like 2 workouts from 2:30 to 7:30 and just not letting his body really recover when it comes down to it. So as far as that one, I think it's silly, and even Mark Wahlberg, if you asked him, would probably say the exact same thing.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson was like putting in similar ideas with the 4 a.m. workouts. The whole idea is just like, early morning, like you can get up, you can grind, but the 4 a.m. is literally going to like destroy your sleep habits unless you're going to bed at like a solid time. Like if you're going to bed at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. the latest, you could probably swing it. But even so, it's just like in my adult life, now that I'm 30, I can strongly say that, you don't make it to bed at 9 p.m. often. It's usually like 10:30 or 11 or later. So trying to wake up at 4 a.m. if you're going to bed at that time, it's not going to work.
I think this is a very much a celebrity workout. Like celebrities have a lot more time than normal people like us. Like we don't just sit at home and do whatever we want and then go record a movie for a few months. Like we actually have to do 9-to-5 jobs, things like that, where you're not going to have maybe a personal trainer to help you or those little things that can help you. Or have this much time to do all this working out at super weird hours.
No, exactly. It's not feasible. It's not going to last for the long term. It's just not possible.
Yeah. Interesting. And I mean, to be fair, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Mark Wahlberg are in very good shape, and they work very hard to be in very good shape. But just because they're in very good shape doesn't mean they're optimizing the way they're doing it either. And there are a lot of things they do optimize very well, but I think that forcing yourself to wake up this early is really not one of the best things to do. Like, it's not to be glorified losing sleep or altering your sleep this much in order to, I mean, maybe get some more gains. Like, if you look at Mark Wahlberg, though, he goes to bed at 7, or he used to go to bed at 7:30, and then he would wake up at 2:30 a.m. Why not just go to bed at 10, wake up at 5? It's a way more reasonable hours, and you're probably going to get more sun, too. And sun, like we said, is a good thing. We all need that vitamin D. Dr. Tom likes it hot and right out there. He'll go out butt naked every morning and just take that vitamin D.
Absolutely. That's my goal is every morning to get right out there and go right after the vitamin D.
Yeah. Dr. Tom loves the vitamin D. We all love the vitamin D. If you don't love the vitamin D, put it in the comments. Baby Mary Soul, thanks for coming on. Do you get your vitamin D in the morning? I hope so. What do you think, sir? Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's dive into... You got another one you want to jump into? We got a whole list of them.
So, in Tom Brady's book, The TB12 Method, one of the things that Tom claimed was that if you drink water, an excess amount of water, you can prevent a sunburn. You guys watching, let me know what you think. Can you prevent a sunburn by drinking a lot of water? If you're not sure, we're going to tell you the answer right here. Dr. Tom, does drinking water prevent sunburn?
No, it does not. And neither does drinking a lot of rum. I learned that in Puerto Rico.
Yes. I think I should say it's obvious, but, sometimes people see stuff like that. You see it from a very famous athlete that is a very amazing athlete when it comes down to it. Yeah, that's stupid. What water does is it keeps you hydrated. It keeps your organs, your muscles, your nervous system, everything sort of fluid, moving. You can't just put it on your skin or you can't just drink it and then affect your skin to be protected. You actually need to put something on your skin to protect you from the sun. And I never thought that today I'd be talking about this, to be honest. Maybe it's wear a long sleeve. Maybe it's wear some suntan lotion. Maybe don't pour water all over yourself. When you think about it, if you pour water on yourself or even sweat, it actually just magnifies sun rays. If you're magnifying sun rays on your skin, it's going to cause a sunburn. I got a little sidetracked there. What do you think, so?
Yeah, the sunburn soapbox, it's completely fine. But no, is it going to maybe help prevent I don't even want to say some damages. It's just going to... Sunburn can dehydrate you. All that's going to protect you from is being dehydrated from being sunburnt excessively. Because obviously when the sun's beating on you, it's making you sweat, which is making you lose water, which the sweat is then also going to amplify the sun's effects and and rays and whatnot that you're experiencing. So no, it's not going to directly change the sunburn. If anything, it can help make it a little bit worse. That's not a claim, but still, it can definitely stop you from getting dehydrated, is what I would say.
Mm-hmm. So Kaya, what we are talking about here, and hello, how are you, is different hot takes from celebrities, health and fitness. Are there any that you've heard that you think we can talk about and go into a little bit? We've talked about a few so far. Tom Brady thinks that drinking water will prevent sunburn. That's not really true. Robert Oberst, a famous strongman, said that we shouldn't deadlift. Also not true. It's a fundamental movement in our lives. And Tracy Anderson, a famous trainer, said not to lift more than 3 pounds if you're a lady because you'll get way too toned. We have found that all of these are not true. Do you have any ideas or any other maybe controversial takes that you've heard that you want us to go into a little bit, or anybody else watching? Do you have anything you want us to go into? We'll give it a second. Second's over. Should we should we go to on to the next thing, sir?
Yeah, let's run into. So we've been talking a lot about different like workouts and now hydration. Let's lead into food a little bit. Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson, their take: the meat only carnivore diet. They said it's supposed to help with fat loss and bring them mental clarity. Overall, I could see a lot of issues with this because you need a lot of just different micronutrients and yeah, vitamins and minerals that typically come from vegetables and carbs that you won't get from meats only. So I don't know how extreme they were necessarily going, but either way, if they're going literally all meats, not the most beneficial. If they're going some, mostly meats, some carbs, again, you're still missing out on some pretty significant what you call it, nutrients that you need in your system, minerals, brain farting, but still I think maybe short term you'll have a pretty good uptick in protein, but long term it is not safe or sustainable.
Yeah. Kaya, first of all, thank you. Don't worry about it. I agree. I mean, the carnivore diet is missing on a lot of things, and that's the problem with a lot of these diets. Kaya said if you eat a lot of steak, you'll lose weight. Potentially. I mean, protein is a lot more satiating, so it fills you up a lot more, and it makes it so you don't want to eat as much as you think. When it comes down to it, though, it depends on how much steak you eat. If you ate 50 ounces of steak every day, which I don't think anybody can, but I shouldn't say that. If you ate 50 ounces of steak every day, it's going to be tough to lose weight because of how many calories that is. Most people won't do that, but it is possible that you can lose weight by eating a lot of steak. But the truth is, the longer you do it, the less nutrients you're going to have. So not having those nutrients is exactly what Dr. Tom just said, is just going to make you have a lot of other issues. Maybe it's going to be something with your blood. Maybe it's going to be feeling a little weak, a little fatigued, a little bit just off compared to normal. So it's something you definitely have to be careful about doing this long term. And
yeah, no, absolutely. It's okay. I don't even want to market and brand it that it's okay for the short term. Like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like carnivore only. Like we're not meant to be carnivores. Like,
yeah,
we're meant to be omnivores.
it's like has anyone ever heard of scurvy? Dr. Tom?
Oh yeah, no, it's not good for you. You need to be able to have that.
Yeah.
Vitamin C. You thought I was gonna say vitamin D.
Dr. Tom loves his vitamin D, but scurvy, for anybody who doesn't know, is when vitamin C deficiency, and it's the same type of thing when you're just eating steak. You're gonna have a deficiency of some sort, and you can get a weird condition like scurvy, which is basically just because you don't have vitamin C, and end up in maybe the hospital. To be honest with you, I hate to say it, or just having other issues happen because you're just not getting proper nutrients. You'd be surprised how many things can happen just from not having the proper nutrients in your body, and we can't really get into all of it today because it would literally take all day long to talk about all those things. But the other thing, the opposite side of the spectrum to that as well, sir, was the fruitarian diet is what Steve Jobs thought was the way to go.
Stevie.
So
not the way to go. Not the way to go.
Yeah. That's basically the fruit only diet. If you don't know what that is, it means you just eat fruit. So now it's the opposite end of the spectrum of the carnivore diet, where you're probably not getting enough protein. You're probably getting a whole lot of sugar, not a lot of fat, and you're going to be missing out on one of the biggest macronutrients, protein. You got to have protein in order to build muscle, maintain muscle as well. If you're not having protein, there's going to be a lot more likely that you can start to get a little bit weaker because of that. If anybody has ever watched a survival TV show, one of the biggest things they always say is, I need more protein. I need to go eat a gopher or something like that. And that actually helps them feel a lot better for a lot longer when they're eating the protein.
There was just an influencer who who I think, I mean, not to sound morbid, but an influencer who recently just died, who only ate fruit too, and it was coming out that I got to look up who it is. She only ate fruit, and everyone was trying to warn her, I guess, that this isn't the healthiest, and I think it ended up that's what ultimately killed her. And again, I'm so sorry that happened. That's absolutely terrible. Um, but it's people follow these diets, and these bad things can happen.
I think that's the thing. That's why we have to stress the importance of these diets too. Is you're probably not gonna pass away if you do it for a short period of time. But if you start doing that for years and years, that's why we keep talking about all these other conditions you can have. You're going to be a lot more likely to have something detrimental. That's worst case scenario, passing away. But it could be a bunch of different things with your heart, with your lungs, with your muscles that start to be affected just because you're not having the proper amount of nutrients or maybe the proper amount of like energy or protein. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong just by not having what you need.
So I apologize. There was an influencer died back in 2023, but there's a woman right now who in October of 2025, so it is semi-recent, she died at 27 after basically starvation from the extreme fruitarian diet, and she only weighed 22 kilograms at the time of her death.
Wow. So
that's an adult woman.
Yeah, for all of our Americans, that's like around like 45, 50 pounds. Which is pretty wild to be that light. That literally sounds like skin and bones, and that's like
exactly.
That's a whole nother issue too when it comes down to it. That's just talking about like mental health, anorexia, bulimia, that type of stuff. And you know what? This might not even be one of those two. Could literally be that your diet just doesn't give your body the nutrients that it needs.
Exactly, and again, not hating on it, like no hate towards like anyone who's doing the fruitarian diet, but you need to make sure you find other intakes of like proteins and vital nutrients and stuff that you need. Fruit a lot of the times is often just it's high in sugars. It's not going to be that beneficial past that.
Yeah, what I would actually, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I would actually recommend like a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet way faster than I would ever recommend a fruitarian diet. Because at least if you're doing a vegetarian diet, you're going to be a lot more likely to have protein and some of the other nutrients you have. Hey, wizard man. Let us know what you think about diets. Which one do you think is good? Which one do you think is bad? Do you like the fruitarian diet? And do you like the carnivore diet? But yeah, it's these can be very detrimental to our health if we aren't smart about it.
Yeah, and it's just make smart decisions. That's what we want to look for.
I think actually,
let's move along,
sir. Before we do, if we had to carnivore forever, Robert Tay Delot, make sure you have your nutrients, sir. But yeah, if you're gonna try a diet of any sort, just actually look into the nutrients that are involved with it, and not just what you get, but what you don't get. Are there any things that you're missing? So, like we said, with the carnivore diet, you're missing out on a lot of micronutrients. You probably will lose weight if you do the carnivore diet, but you're probably not going to have the nutrients you need. That's why you're losing weight. Your body is literally starving itself, which is what you sort of have to do to lose weight. But I digress. And to the opposite end, the fruitarian diet, if you're not eating any protein, you're probably going to get a lot weaker because your muscles don't have any protein. Most vegetables are poisonous. Well, Robert, you are misinformed. But if you want to explain why you think that, go for it.
You know what? Robert might be a little bit of a troll.
Sounds like it might
be. We got our first troll on here.
But hey, if we have a troll, we want to hear from him. We want to hear what he has to say. LOL.
Robert. I
think that we do have a troll.
Robert, we appreciate you being in the chat regardless. All of the the messages, and it's beneficial for us. So keep them coming. Let's dive into waist trainers.
Yeah. So you're talking about the one that you're wearing right now, Or are you talking about the one that Kim Kardashian was trying to get
I
people
wear
to
two. I'm wearing two right now.
I wear one per bicep.
There we go. The Kardashians, they love the waist trainers.
Yep. So Kardashians wear the waist trainers in order to get that hourglass figure. They also have had a few different other types of surgeries, like a boob job, a butt lift, some face, probably Botox as well. Probably some other things to reshape the face too. So they have had a lot of junk done to make them look a perfect way, and the waist trainer is supposed to accentuate that. But I hate to say it, you can't really move your bones and your joints with a waist trainer. It's not actually going to do anything. It's not going to help you lose weight. Doesn't actually burn calories. If you're not burning calories, you're not losing weight. It's not going to change the structure of your bones over time. It would have to be a lot of stress, and you'd probably have to break a bone in order to actually get your ribs to change. We don't want to do that. That would hurt a lot. And then on top of that, it's just like, it's going to make you sweat, but that's not going to make you burn more calories. It's just going to make you sweat a little bit. It's just sort of a silly thing altogether. Let me know if you disagree in the comments. What do you think, sir?
I mean, the one thing I do disagree with is I feel like the increase in sweat is going to essentially make you burn more calories because it's causing you to generate more heat, which is essentially going to cause you to burn more calories. Is it going to be significant enough? Most likely no, but you want to pinch out a few extra calories in there. It is going to help you maybe lose some water weight too. The idea I have behind it's pressure over time. Technically, in physics and whatnot, can that create what we call deformities to help you achieve the goals that you want? Realistically, probably not, but in theory, I can see why it might, make sense. But overall, I mean, I don't think it's going to be the worst device you choose, but it's not the best one.
What do you think is worse? What do you think is a worse idea than a waist trainer?
Than a waist trainer. Worst idea than a waist trainer. I think wearing knee sleeves when you're exercising. I think that it's just unnecessary, compression. I think just like the ace sleeves that you could put on. It's just, to me, it's like, why?
What's even more ridiculous than that is I heard a story that like Shakira got her bottom ribs removed so that she had better hip mobility, which I don't think is true in the slightest. But that's one. I mean,
I wasn't thinking that far for it. I think you said device, not absolute removal.
Oh yeah, well okay, device. Robert Delot said that in the Army they use plastic trash bags under their PT uniforms, would run 6 to 8 miles, instant weight loss. Buddy, I hate to say it, you're probably going to burn some calories. You probably will lose a little bit of weight just by burning so many calories, but a lot of that's water weight. A lot of that is not actually fat that you're losing. And especially if you're not hydrating properly, it's going to look like you lost 10 pounds. And I mean, you technically did. You lost 10 pounds of water weight, but it's not like a healthy weight loss. It's not a sustainable thing either. The second you go drink water and eat a big meal, it's probably going to come back on, unless you're not hydrating properly, and then you'll just be in a dehydration state where you're really just not feeling well.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's just it's going to just pull all the water out of you. I mean, that's what wrestlers do for their cuts too. If you want to lose, that pounds momentarily, but what do they do the second that they finally weigh in is they just go and absolutely stuff their face with food to get their weight back up, and chug water to get the hydration back in the system so they don't pass out when they wrestle.
I think the best example of that I've ever seen is the Conor McGregor photo when he cut a bunch of weight before one of his UFC fights, and he literally looked like a skeleton. It was like, that doesn't look like a healthy human being. Do you remember that picture, sir?
Yeah, he weighed in like that. It looked like ungodly healthy, and I can't remember the results of the fight, but I remember seeing like the pictures of all of them too.
I don't know if he won that fight either, but like you saw him during the fight and you saw him at the weigh-in, it was literally like a different person. Like he lost so
Yeah,
much weight. Um, and I mean, honestly, that's really not healthy too. Losing weight that fast is not sustainable for the first part, and it is a little bit dangerous. That can lead to some other health problems. Like I've had plenty of patients that end up in the hospital just because they don't have enough like fluid in their system. Unfortunately, the same thing can happen to anybody at any age. Even though I work with older adults, it can happen with younger athletes as well.
absolutely. It can happen all over the board. There's age is not a discriminating factor when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you don't eat, it ain't good. All right.
Definitely not.
What do you think, sir? Do we have another one you want to get into? I think, one or two more we can get into.
Let's do two more.
So the next one I saw, this one is a interesting one. It's from Gwyneth Paltrow. She suggested the V stream. The V stream is that you should get a pot of water. This is for our ladies out there. You should get a pot of water. You should steam it, infuse it with mugwort, and you basically stand right over the steaming pot and let it cleanse your uterus and balance your female hormone levels. Sir, what do you think? Should the ladies be standing over some steaming hot water?
I don't think this was a surprise curveball one. I don't remember this one being in on our hey, we're going to talk about this list. Just in all honesty, it just sounds like you're standing over a steaming pot of water. I don't think that's going to do anything.
Well, the steam can also burn you.
Yeah, I mean, other than like I'm talking like health benefits. We'll get into the injuries in a second, but I don't think there's many. I don't think there's any benefits. I don't want to say many benefits. There's no benefits to that. What do you do? It's just standing over steaming water. Like you get the same benefits as standing in a hot shower.
But what if it cleans you? What if it makes everything down there clean?
So would a shower if it's steaming hot enough. That's getting everywhere.
Yeah, and one of the big things
we're doing like Vicks neti pots to the hoo-ha now. This is interesting.
And one of the big things too is that our sexual reproduction organs are like have cleaning. Sexual reproduction organs have ways to clean themselves. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So you don't need to clean it with a steamer. For all the people that just tuned in, this has gotten a little weird. But we're talking about Gwyneth Paltrow and the V stream and how she would stand over a hot pot and try to use the steam to clean herself. If you're not a man or if you're not a lady and you feel uncomfortable, that's okay because we probably both do too.
Yeah. It's just, Stanley Steamer, they make your home cleaner. They might have to remarket themselves. They've got steaming technology. This might be the next like fad thing to do. Like, it was IVs at the home. It's electrolyte packets. It's like, nah, heck yeah, you can call somebody and they'll come over and steam your vagina.
I think we could skip right on to the next one. What do you think, sir?
It's not beneficial. Don't do it. Don't even ask your doctor about it. Your doctor will probably just walk out of the room. We're gonna move on. I don't know where Dr. Aaron pulled the crazy one out of the hat that I wasn't even expecting.
Sir, let's get into cold plunges a little bit. Are cold plunges actually as good?
I was gonna steer us in a different direction, but I like the cold plunge ones. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, so
do they have the benefits that everybody thinks they have? Every famous man swears by a cold plunge.
Yeah, strong men, like bodybuilders, just normal everyday athletes, and also probably like professional basketball players. All these people say that cold plunges are great and amazing. And what do we think, sir?
Honestly, I feel like this is one that like a lot of people like to hate on. It's like either you love it or you hate it. I'm gonna honestly dive into the level one. I read a book the name is eluding right now. I can't think of the name of it. Oh my god. I think it's literally called What Doesn't Kill Us. And it was about this guy following like the actual Wim Hof. And if anybody knows Wim Hof, you know him for one of two reasons. It's either his breathing techniques, and we all watch the videos online, which means you've probably done therapy and your therapist has told you to do Wim Hof breathing. Or the other one is you know him for taking cold plunges and the benefits that can come from it. It does something to your psyche. It does help build that toughness. It's also supposed to be semi peaceful once you settle into everything. It's supposed to help build like resilience to cold weather. And there's a lot of research coming out about like the physiologic effects of the cold plunge to like the human body. So it's pretty cool stuff that's coming out about it. Haha, but cool stuff. You like that one, Aaron? You like corny jokes, come on. But yeah, no, I'm for them. I don't do them personally because I'm not mentally tough, and I don't feel like I'm doing Wim Hof's breathing techniques. I'll get to the cold plunges later. But your thoughts?
Well, first of all, you know what also feels serene, just like an ice bath? Hypothermia.
Oh yeah, for long periods of times. Yeah, if you're don't go sit in an ice bath for 2 hours because you'll probably not come out of it.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to do it for a prolonged period of time. Will it help with like recovery and things like that? There are like I guess short-term benefits as for pain. Maybe it'll help with swelling a little bit as well. There's really not a lot of long-term benefits for recovery. If you haven't thought about it, if you do have a lot of inflammation in a joint, it might be there for a reason. It might not be necessarily a good thing to try to decrease the inflammation right away. Inflammation is just our body's immune response. So it's trying to make that thing do better. So by taking an ice bath or something like that, you might not be able to recover as well as before. As far as like the mental edge that you get from it, to be honest, I haven't done really an ice plunge apart from like jumping into my pool in the middle of the winter or something like that, or not even in the middle of the winter, probably in the fall, and that was pretty cold. And then I got out and I went in the hot tub. And that was pretty much it. Like, I honestly don't think it is that great.
See, I don't know. I see the benefits with it. I'm gonna get you that book. I'm gonna let you read it, and then we'll rediscuss this. But how late do you keep your pool open in the season? Still open, right?
Sometimes if you forget to close it over over the winter, and it never got closed. And
I am in the description going to leave Dr. Aaron's address. So if you want to go and try a free cold plunge in a dirty pool, you can go to his house.
Yeah, don't ever come to my house, people. Unless you're my friend, then you can come to my house. If you're just watching,
and we're all friends in the chat, sir,
but not friends enough to come to my house. Unless you are, text me. I'll say hello. If you don't have my phone number,
I'll leave his phone number in the description.
No, if you don't have my phone number, there's probably a reason. Well, that's awkward. What do you think, sir? Do we have one more in us? Do we call it a day there for today?
One last fast one for the people, because the people obviously want it. Then pick a number, 1 through 3.
I was going to say 4. Dang. 2.
2. All right. Mobility over heavy lifting. Tom Brady loves this. Tom Brady was a notoriously skinny man. He wasn't known for being bulky, and he likes to train, a lot of pliability and longevity, and mobility is big in his training. He doesn't do the heavy squats that we see Saquon Barkley doing. What do you think about it?
Mobility is never a bad thing. It is never a bad thing to move your joints and range of motions that your body isn't used to. So in some ways, I think that's true. However, heavy lifting is an important thing to keep us strong as we get older too. We don't want to just do light weights like we were talking about before. The 3-pound weights are really not going to be beneficial. It's not enough to stress your system. So you should probably do some type of heavy lifting. It doesn't have to be ultra heavy, but it should be something that is challenging for you and gets your muscles tired. And I would probably just combine them both. Like, I wouldn't say you should do one over the other. You should probably do things that include both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why Tom Brady needed to cheat oftentimes to beat the Jets, because he wasn't lifting heavy.
Yeah, I mean,
But no, in all honesty, it's mobility is never a bad thing. I'm not going to hate too much on it, other than the fact that it's Tom Brady. But I think that lifting is also important too, and it doesn't have to. It's like, I don't know why in our world nowadays, man, that everybody thinks that it's got to either, like, lifting, it's either heavy or it's light, and there's no in between. It doesn't exist. The in between does not exist, and apparently it doesn't.
yeah, that's true too. That's something a lot of people don't ever mention, that like, you can go in the middle. Right? It doesn't have to be super heavy or super light. Like, you can do stuff that stresses your body in the middle, and it's probably a lot better than either one of those, honestly. Not doing light enough isn't going to keep your body strong and help you progress. Going too heavy is going to have more potential for injury, so why not just go in the middle? You still get that same stimulus on your muscles. It's just you have less potential for injury and more potential for longevity, doing things as long as you possibly can. I also think,
absolutely.
Sorry, one last thing. I also think that Tom Brady had a lot of longevity in the sport of football because his position is one that allows for longevity. Like, there's a reason you don't see linemen. Yeah. You don't see a lot of linemen play past like 30, 35 because there's just so many injuries as a lineman. Same thing with running backs. Like, most of the time, running backs don't last more than like 2 to 5 years, like in their prime. The best of the best do, but most of them don't. And it's because every single play they're hitting very hard. Tom Brady, like, yeah, he took some like big hits over his career, but he wasn't getting like pounded every single play. Like, and honestly, most of the time he had a pretty good offensive line. So even then, like, he didn't get destroyed like a lot of the other players in football.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that factors in as well. But Tom Brady did play longer than the average quarterback for maybe some of the mobility reasons. He just preserved his joints. But overall, it's not a bad mentality, but a good mix is always needed too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it does like start to question, why did certain people retire? Like, was it because they didn't have good mobility? Was it because, maybe just injuries from years of just hitting and hitting and hitting? Would mobility stop or help you get past those injuries? Maybe. Probably, if you just kept on doing things.
Did they just not have that dog in them anymore? They lost that dog in them.
The thing is, Dr. Tom, that a lot of, athletes actually care about their family. So they don't give up on their family and just play football instead. Sorry, Tom.
This is true.
Oh, my hamstring just cramped up. That's Tom Brady.
And with that, we're going to end the podcast.
I'm good.
Have a good night.